Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Sampriti, and in this video I am going to discuss West Bengal Set 2023 English question. And after receiving the question paper, I qualified West Bengal Set last year, so I was not technically allowed to sit for the exam, so I cannot sit for the exam anymore. Digonto Alam, thank you so much for mailing the question paper. After receiving the question paper, I solved it in my own way. And to remind you all that this is not the final answer key, this is just a provisional, my take on the question paper. So my answers might be wrong. And also, we all know that West Bengal College Service Commission provides the answer key. Sometimes it's very problematic. Sometimes they're full of mistakes, and sometimes they're very puzzling. So do not consider this video as a final sort of answer key for the question paper. That being said, let me tell you another thing, that is the question paper of West Bengal Set 2023 English, in my opinion, was not easy. It was very standard, and sometimes it was at par with the question of UGC NET English. And some questions are repeated, some questions are sort of, repeated from UGC NET previous years also. And some questions are really puzzling and confusing. Some questions might have multiple answers. So these kinds of things are there that I wanted to share. Okay, now without further ado, let's dive into the question paper. Before that, please like my channel. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please do that. Sorry. If you like this video, if you have observations about it, please do let me know in the comment section. And also, if you guys are keen to buy my notes, please comment, and you can also get in touch with me through email or phone number that I will paste in the description box. Also, many people have mailed me that they have started studying my notes and they found much in common with the West Bengal Set paper this year. So their examination was really good. So thank you. I feel really blessed for that. Well, that all being said, let's dive into the question paper. First, this is the X3 series question paper. Number 1, Dr. Faustus. What? Okay. Dr. Faustus wanted Mephistopheles to appear in the guise of a handsome young man. No, of course not. Helen. No, he met Helen. A Franciscan friar. Yeah, that is the answer. A Franciscan friar. Option C is the answer. Number 2, quickly moving on. Henry Vaughan's poem, The Retreat, very important poem, expresses a desire to return to the days of infancy, return to the primordial age of creation, return to the golden age of pastoralism, return to the Middle Ages. As you know, The Retreat is very much identical with the poems like The Prelude or Tintern Abbey. So it suggests a return to the days of infancy, and it kind of criticizes the days of adulthood, which is stained by lack of innocence and the stains of cruelty and stuff like that. So Vaughan once expresses a desire to go back to the days of his childhood, where he could enjoy the world as much as he could without thinking about the world. Number 3, who considered the existence of a built-in language acquisition of course, LAD, language acquisition device. It is related to Noam Chomsky. What was LAD? It is an instinctive mental capacity of a child. It is already there. Okay? It's instinctive, সহজাত, যেটাকে আমরা বাংলায় বলি. that capacity of a child to acquire and produce language. So already sheta mathar moddhe ache. There is already in the child's brain a system that is called the language acquisition device. In 1960s, Noam Chomsky established that. Number 4, the architect who constructed Pandemonium in the book 1 of Paradise Lost is Mulciber. It's very important. Mulciber constructed the Pandemonium. That is a hell. That is a, that's the central space of the hell. Okay, that's the Pandemonium was constructed by Mulciber. Option D is the correct answer. Okay. What happened? Yeah. Number 5. Bring the odd one out. 4 P's, the play of the weather, Fulgens and Lucrece. Lucrece spelling is mistaken, of course. There must be some spelling mistake or other in West Bengal set questions. Anyways, 4 P's, the play of the weather, Fulgens and Lucrece, Magnificence. Well, I don't know this, but I tried the elimination method, which works most of the time. 4 P's and the play of the weather is written by John Haywood, and it was written in the 16th century. Fulgens and Lucrece was also written in the 16th century, late 15th and early 16th century. It is an interlude by Henry Medwall. I did not know that, but I knew that Fulgens and Lucrece was somewhere written before, like in the age of the revival, the Renaissance age. So all these 3 are coming from the same era, the late 15th century, 15th, 16th century. Magnificence I did not know about. Magnificence is actually a 1973 play by Howard Breton. So this should be the answer. This should be the answer. Magnificence, option D is the answer. Okay. Okay. Why is this happening? These hills called home, stories from a war zone. This is very important. This is written by this Hills Called Home is written by Temsula Au. It's a Naga author, also a poet, Temsula Au. And stories from a war zone. She talks about the hills of Northeast India. So option C is the correct answer, Northeast India. It is kind of a feminist history of the Naga people and the hurdles that they go through and the wars that come out in the Northeast India part. So option C is the correct answer. Number 7. In which of the following methods do we move from a specific situations rule to general situations? It's very obvious. It's inductive. Option A is the correct answer. Inductive method. 8. In which of the following play or plays does Shakespeare employ the use of mask? This is confusing because in The Tempest, he uses a mask as a separate part in Tempest. And A Midsummer Night's Dream, the whole play is structured as a mask. So I'm kind of confused between C and D. Option C, which is only The Tempest, and option D, both B and C. Okay, so C and D, I'm confused between these two. Number 9. Horace lived during the time of the Emperor Augustus. We know that. Option C, Augustus. Number 10. In Longinus's idea of the sublime, mimesis means, okay, starting from Plato to Aristotle to Horace to Longinus, everyone talks about mimesis. And as we go forward, we can see the shift of the perception about the expression mimesis shifting. Every one of these critics talks about mimesis, but in different perspective. For Longinus, you might choose this Option B, imitation of grandiloquent diction, but it is not true. Longinus is very much related to grandeur of thoughts and diction and stuff like that, but this is not the answer. The answer will be imitation of classical poets of excellence. Option B is the correct answer, imitation of classical poets of excellence. Okay. Longinus says that the spiritual connection to ancient minds is very important. Much like, can you tell me who is a modern critic who thinks alike? T.S. Eliot, in his Tradition and Individual Talent, when he says that it's very important to have a spiritual connection with the ancient. And there is another critic who talked about it in a negative sense, who was Harold Bloom. The anxiety of influence he talked about, right? Okay. There was a question in NET 2021, I guess, where the question came that who talked about the influence of the ancient, the tradition in a negative sense. The answer is Harold Bloom. All right. 11. Which of the following is not a characteristic of the mystery plays? Not a characteristic of the mystery plays. They deal with biblical themes. Of course, they do. They depicted the lives of saints. Yeah. The characters in the plays personified abstract ideas. Well, in miracle plays, they did. Sometimes in mystery plays also. They were mostly performed in not vernacular language. No, they were mostly written in Latin language, and it was restricted to the church people and the people, the priests, like that. So it was not for the common people. It was not performed in the vernacular language. It's not accessible to common people. 12. Who orders the execution of Junior Mortimer in Marlowe's play Edward II? Yeah, I knew this is a very important play, even more important than Shakespeare. From Shakespeare, as I said also in my previous video, that Shakespeare is an ocean, and no matter how much you study from Shakespeare, you cannot complete him. But from Marlowe, Thomas Key, Thomas Nash, these people are limited. They had limited works. And that's why in my notebook also, I provided some detailed and informative portions for Marlowe and Thomas Key, the Spanish tragedy. That is the next question. I'm coming to that. So detailed informative notes on that. So actually, Edward III, the eldest son of Edward II, orders the execution of Junior Mortimer. Junior Mortimer, or also called the young Mortimer. 13. Which of the following is not true about the Spanish tragedy? The Spanish tragedy is also important. Very important. Balthazar killed the Spanish officer Don Andrea. Yeah, Don Andrea, yes, he comes back in the form of a what's a ghost to take revenge. Balthazar falls in love with Belle Imperia. Yeah. Balthazar was avenged by Hieronimo at the end of the play. Yes. Hieronimo fell in love with no. Hieronimo did not fall in love with Belle Imperia. So option D is the right answer. It is not true about the Spanish tragedy. 14. One of the sources of Shakespeare's The Winter's Tale is, you can see most questions are asked from the pre-Shakespearean era rather than directly from Shakespeare. That's why in my notes also I have focused on that. The pre-Shakespearean era, like the university weeds, Marlowe, and those people, they are very important because they established the foundation for Shakespeare, the foundation for Shakespearean works. Okay, the sources of principal source for The Winter's Tale by Shakespeare is, of course, Pandosto by Robert Greene. Pandosto, the subtitle of Pandosto was The Triumph of Time. Okay. Number 15, Porphyria's Lover. Very good question. I love this question. Porphyria's Lover was published in dramatic lyrics, paired with another poem under the title Madhouse Cells. The other poem is what? Two in the Campana? No. Women and Roses? No. Caliban upon Setebus? No. Option D is the correct answer. Johannes Agricola in Meditation. Remember this question, okay? This might be repeated in the next set. This might be asked in the net also, UGC net also. Many questions are hinted from UGC net also in this set, West Bengal set paper this year. I will mention this. Okay, postmodernism. I don't know why they asked this. They sometimes ask questions like that, which emerged in the 1990s, signals a return to, well, I have no idea about this. After using my elimination methods and, permutation combination methods and applying my overall understanding of literary theory, let's see what it comes out as. The European Enlightenment? No, it does not signal a return to the European Enlightenment, at least. No, it doesn't. So option A is no. Option B, the culture of affect of the age of sensibility? No, I don't think so. Age of sensibility? No way. The archetypal paradigms of Northrop Frye? The modernist avant-garde? Well, it's postmodernism. So first came modernism, then postmodernism, and after that, as a reaction to postmodernism, came postmodernism. It cannot be a return to modernist avant-garde. So if I was there, I would have clicked option C, the archetypal paradigms of Northrop Frye. And I had the privilege of researching a bit in Google. So I came across this thing. Postmodernism was an idea incorporated by Tom Turner. Tom Turner talks about Carl Jung's archetypes. So archetypal paradigms, this might be the answer. I don't know. I'm being honest here. So option C might be the answer. I have no idea about this. Option C, question number 17. The genre Newgate fiction derives its name from. Do you know what a Newgate fiction is? Newgate novels, also called as Old Bailey novels. Old Bailey novels. Bailey. Old Bailey novels. They were the novels written and published in England in the mid 1800s, like 1820s, 1830s, up to 1840s. And they primarily eulogized or glorified the criminal lives, okay? Focusing on criminal lives. So that's Newgate novels. And it came from Newgate calendar. Option A is the correct answer. Newgate calendar, which was the source of most of the stories of such fiction. Question number 18. Which of the following plays is not by Manjula Padmanabhan? It is option A, Princess. Option A, Princess. Manjula Padmanabhan is an Indian playwright, and here, Harvest, Lights Out, Hidden Fires, all the three of them are written by Padmanabhan, but Princess is not written by Padmanabhan, and option A here, hence, is the correct answer. 19. Who among the following is not a structural narratologist? Well, let's do this using your brain, okay? Rolla Barthes wrote one book called Introduction to the Structural Analysis of Narratives. So, of course, he is a structural narratologist. A.J. Grimmers, of course, he is. If you read literary theory very carefully, in my notes, I have analyzed all these literary theories very crucially, very critically, and chronologically, sensibly. If you study this and if you also research on your own, you will know that A.J. Grimmers is a specialized theorist in structural semantics. So he is also related to structural narratology. Okay, Zvetan Todorov actually coined the term narratology. Okay, so that is also, Todorov is also a structural narratologist. So Louis Althusser is not a structural narratologist. Option A, Louis Althusser is the correct answer. 20. The Shock of Arrival contains reflections on post-colonial experience of. This is a book by Mina Alexander, very important writer. So both from Indian literature and from post-colonial point of view. So The Shock of Arrival contains reflections on post-colonial experience of Mina Alexander. Option A is the correct answer. 21. This is oh my god, this question came in UGC Net recently, last year. I mean, the last UGC Net, 2022. My India was there. There was a matching question, I guess. If I'm right. My India is a series of autobiographical anecdotes by Jim Corbett. Option B is the correct answer. Jim Corbett. So you can see how you have to be aware of the previous year's question papers of whatever competitive exams, eligibility tests are happening around you, be it UGC NET, be it Andhra Pradesh State, Gujarat State, anything like that. 22. The subtitle, The Letter Killet, okay, it's a New Testament, of Hardy's Jude the Obscure is taken from Old Testament. No. Yeah, D, the New Testament. Option D is the correct answer for question number 22. 23. Who coined the term cyber coolie to denote the call center workers in India, claiming that they are as exploited by Western multinationals as plantation workers from Bihar, but exploited in the West Indies by their colonial masters? I did not know this, but well, it's not V.S. Neupal. It's not Arundhati Roy. Ramachandra Guha was more related to environmentalism, eco-criticism. Harish Trivedi might be the answer, and I cross-checked from Google. So option C, Harish Trivedi is the answer. He coined the term cyber coolie. 24. Given below the two statements, the postmodern concept of hyper-reality gestures repetition of the last year. Last year also, question from hyper-reality was asked. The postmodern concept of hyper-reality gestures towards a transcendent reality. Yeah. Reason, this is because postmodernism is deeply imbued with a desire for transcendence. Yes, I think both A and R are correct. So option A, in my opinion. Not sure, but if I was there in the exam hall, I would have chosen option A. 25. Bring out the correct match. Of Mimicry and Man by Homi K. Bhabha. We know this. So A3, only one option is like that. Option B, A3. The Other Side of Silence, option C, Urvashi Butalia. This is also a question most probably asked this year net or the previous year net. I think this year. At The Other Side of Silence in the evening shift, in the morning shift, The Other Side of Silence was asked by Urvashi Butalia. Okay, so in net, how you can see it's how all are interconnected. Net, set, gate. Gate is also coming in the next month. So option B is the correct answer for question number 25. Which of the following is not a play by Aeschylus? Okay. This is where comes the importance of studying European literature. Okay. So Agamemnon, the libation bearers, the Eumenides, these three are the part of the Orestia trilogy. So all of the three are written by Aeschylus, and Antigone is written by Sophocles. Okay. So option D is the correct answer. Antigone is a play not written by Aeschylus. 27. In which text on popular culture does Michael Thompson state that ideally an object should reach zero value and zero expected lifespan, but in reality, it continues to live in a timeless and valuable limbo? This is a rubbish theory. In my notes on literary theory, in the appendix part of that notebook, I have mentioned rubbish theory, thing theory, and this popular culture theories like that. Okay, and it's very important, like speech act theory, cyborg, death of language, this kind of appendix information. So Mark Thompson is related to rubbish theory. So when they are asking, Michael Thompson, they're asking option A should be the answer, rubbish theory. Okay, rubbish theory. So option A is the correct answer. 28. Okay, list 1 with list 2, matching. I love this. Affective fallacy, aporia, comparator, focalization. Affective fallacy is related to neocriticism. So A3, there are two options like that, A and C. So A3, A and C. B and D should be eliminated. Option A, teki ache A3. Acha, aporia, post-structuralism and deconstruction. Aporia by Derrida. So B should be 4. B4. Okay. That doesn't help because option A and option C, in both the options, we have A3, B4. C, comparator. I don't know about it. Let's leave it. Focalization should be related to narratology. So focalization, option D, 2. Okay, we got it. Option A is the correct answer. So C1, okay. Comparator is related to post-colonialism. All right, learned it. 29. It's very weird question. I have no idea about this. I had no idea about this, but then I exercised my brain. Schools of Multicultural American Literatures, Sandra Cisneros, leave it. Jish Jen, Chang Rae Lee. Chang Rae Lee sounds like a Korean name. So it must be Korean American literature. D1. D1. Two options like that. Eliminating option B and option D. Okay. Jish Jen sounds like Chinese. B3. Okay. That also does not help. Well, then, okay. Okay. Sherman Alexie. Sherman Alexie is a Native American literature writer. So, I did not know this. I had to take help from Google. And 29, the answer is A. Is A4. Sandra Cisneros, Chicano literature. B3. See, Jish Chinese, I said it. Sherman Alexie, C2, Native American writer. And D, Chang Rae Lee, sounds like Korean, should be Korean. So A is the correct answer here. 30. In a defense of poetry, Shelley contrasts reason and imagination. Yes, he does. He says that imagination is creative. How does he describe reason? He describes reason as contemplative. He describes reason as contemplative. Okay. You have to read A Defense of Poetry. There you will find it. He says that reason is contemplative. 31. Here are the names of some women poets: Felicia Hemans, Anna Letitia Barbauld, Anna Seward, Charlotte Smith. They were romantic poets, female romantic women poets. So option C is the correct answer. 32. Which of these British philosophers is most directly connected with the age of sensibility? What was the age of sensibility? It was the age in history of English literature from 1740 to 1800, like the last half, the second half of the Age of Reason, the 18th century. Okay, so when the literary figures were moving from a very straightforward perception of reason and rationality and empiricism towards a more kind of bending towards emotion and human feelings, slowly going to the transition towards the era of romanticism. That was the age of sensibility, when people like Jane Austen were writing, okay, people like Oliver Goldsmith, Thomas Gray were writing their poems with a slight tilt towards the romantic sense. So in that age, John Locke, of course not, was not connected to age of sensibility. He was যাকে বলে কট্টর rationalist. John Locke was not related to the age of sensibility. So option A is not correct. David Hume. Yes, David Hume's books were written after 1740s. So David Hume is the correct answer. David Hume is the correct answer. Okay. Berkeley was not the correct answer, of course, and Shaftesbury was from the age of Restoration, in the age of Dryden. So D is also not the correct answer. So 32B is the correct answer. 33, an advertising jingle goes, roaming wala job, deadline wala job, or are you living in the market wala job? Okay, market wala, roaming wala, Hindi and English are mixed. So it is code mixing, not code switching. Why not code switching? Because code switching is when you are using another language because the next person, the person who you are talking to, does not understand that language. Like you are saying, আমি ওখান দিয়ে যাচ্ছিলাম, যেতে যেতে I met her. So while I was going there, I met her. Instead of saying that, Bengali and English, you are mixing them. Okay. So that is code switching. Okay. And sorry, yeah, that is code switching. You are suddenly switching to another language. But code mixing is that when you are mixing the parts of words from different languages. Roaming is English. Wala is a part of the Hindi word, wala. So roaming wala, deadline wala. This should be, the answer should be code mixing, option A. So 33A should be the correct answer. 34, statement, okay. In a position paper dated 2001 on the teaching of English in higher education, UGC stated both the English honors course and the general level should include world Englishes instead of being confined to British literature. Assumptions. UGC wishes to inculcate a global perspective in students through the study of world literatures. Yes. UGC feels that British literature is not gone. No, not silly. So 1 is the correct answer. 2 is not. So 1 is correct, but 2 is incorrect. Option A is right. 34, option A is right. The formula for calculating impact factors, I don't know why they ask this. Impact factor, if you are aware of this, it is the number of citations in a journal. They have impact factors like 5 point something, 7 point something. More the impact factor is, the more the better the quality of the journal is considered to be. So impact factor is dividing the number of citations in the journal in the 2 previous years divided by the total number of articles published in the previous 2 years. So option A, dividing the number of citations in the journal in the 2 previous years by the total number of articles published in the same journal in 2 previous years. 35A is the correct answer. Okay. 36. Which of the following is not a plagiarism software? Urkund, yes, it is a plagiarism software. Turtinin, yes, it is. Authenticate, yes, it is. Remini is not. Remini is a photo enhancer, artificial intelligence. So option D is answer. It's not a plagiarism software. 37. The author who claimed to have blended 2 kinds of romance, the ancient and the modern, is Horace Walpole, Clara Reeve, Anne Radcliffe, Edgar Allan Poe. Okay, Horace Walpole is the answer. in his preface to The Castle of Otranto, he said that in this work, I'm mixing the ancient and the modern. I'm blending these two. So Horace Walpole is the answer, option A. 38. Again, the reflection of UGC NET 2022. The Drabble is a name for flash fiction. It's a flash fiction. It's a part of fan fiction also. Remember, it's like a 100 words short story. So it's a flash fiction. A flash fiction is something that you can read in a flash, like in a moment, in a minute. You can, not in a minute, in a glimpse, in a glance of an eye, you can read it. So Drabble is a flash fiction. If you remember, it was asked in the UGC NET this year. I mean, last year. It's already 2023. I seem to forget that every time. Well, 39, The Murders in the Rue Morgue was written by, it's very easy. It was written by Edgar Allan Poe. It's a very good story. I love Edgar Allan Poe's stories and poems. I mean, I have a certain preference for the eerie, weird kind of genre, both in movies and poems, and paintings. Edgar Allan Poe satiates that zeal of the weird in me. So, The Murder in the Rue Morgue is written by Edgar Allan Poe. Okay. 40. An apology for poetry. Sydney claims that poetry is a speaking picture. Art pictura poesis. Can you remember? Art pictura poesis. Horace's Ars Poetica. So which ancient authority is invoking here? Horace. Option C. Well, 41. The book, The Prison House of Language, a critical account of structuralism and Russian formalism. It is written by not Terence Hawkes, not Jonathan Culler. Vladimir Prop is not the answer. Vladimir Prop was related to Russian formalism, but that does not mean he wrote the book. It was a very important, very famous, popular book written by Frederick Jameson. When was the Globe Theatre first constructed? 1599. Very crucial age. 1599, option C. Level 2 plagiarism is option C, similarity from 40 to 60%. Which English poet reported on the partition of India as a BBC correspondent? Option A, W.H. Auden is the answer. In this regard, I want to say one thing, that is, Cyril Radcliffe was a person who was asked to draw a line between India and Pakistan, and he was given a 7 weeks time. And he just arbitrarily drew the line on the map. There is a short film called The Bloody Line, which depicts that time, that incident. And W.H. Auden wrote a very attacking poem, satirical attacking poem on Cyril Radcliffe. So I will paste the link of the short film in the description box and you can take a look at it. It's a very poignant and very true account. Okay. So I'm ending this part over here. This will continue. Part 2 also will be published. Uploaded. So that was the first part of West Bengal State 2023 question paper for you. Let me know in the comment section, what do you think about the question paper? Do you have any observation or any opposition with me regarding the answers? And also don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much.